Welcome to UG Chapters of English affiliated to BCU 2nd Sem BCom BBA. The Sunderbans, written by Susil Mandal. Yet another poem for us to understand. Approach to the text. People compete with wildlife for food and resources. This human wildlife conflict has led to the extinction and reduction of numerous species and uncountable human deaths. Do you agree on this? Discuss. A major challenge of modern conservation is the resolution of human wildlife conflict, and we are all seeing the practical examples during the pandemic time. Thus, human life and wildlife conflict leads to antagonism towards wildlife conservation initiative. As soon as we get the name the Sunderbans, our thought crosses on these topics. And this is really the idea behind the Sunderbans because it's a reserved forest area. But the poem deals with another issue altogether, and that is discrimination. Discrimination in any form is very horrible thing, and it should not happen to anybody. And the recent episode in America is one such example of discrimination, and it was racial discrimination. Here, let us see the poem and the thoughts of the poet and understand it. Let's know more about the poet. Susil Mandal was born on 1st April in Palpur village under Gosaba block and intermediate panchayat under South 24 Paragons district in the Sunderbans. He was initiated into the world of poetry in a school established by Daniel Hamilton, an Englishman, in the Sunderbans. Mandal was attracted to the inspiring thoughts and ideas of Swami Vivekananda, the Bengal Renaissance thinker and reformer of the 19th century. He was particularly fascinated by Vivekananda's firm belief in the rise of the Shudras and Atishudras. He also dreamt of a new India rising from the slums and shanties of hapless Dalits. This was the major driving force behind his decision to join a Ramakrishna Mission school. He became a teacher in the Department of English at Narendrapura Ramakrishna Mission Ashram in 1982. His noteworthy volumes of poetry are Ek Akash Gita Bitan, A Sky of Songs, Anucharya Taranga, Silent Waves, Him Sandhyar Batas, Cold Waves of a Wintry Evening, Niranjantar Bai Bhabe in the Opulence of Silence, and Ananta Asvinir Sishir, Devas of a Perennial Autumn. He has received two major awards, Lok Sakha Sammanan and Banani Puraskar. Recently, Mandal's poems have been selected for the Bridgewater Poetry Festival, Virginia, USA. A note on the translator. Sishir Roy studied English literature in the University of Calcutta, started his career as a teacher, and later he joined a course in direction and screenplay writing at Satyajit Ray Film and Television Institute, Kolkata. His interests are varied, including translating for friends, writing personal prose pieces, cooking, traveling, and singing. He is a journalist at present working with Ananda Bazar Patrika, one of the leading vernacular dailies in India. Let's know the poem. You coming from Kolkata, sir? Who sends you here? All come to see the tigers, but no takers for us. A lot more things for you here: tigers, crocodile, hental, sundari trees, the mangrove. You write poetry on the colorful leaves. Only we, black bodies, are left unnoticed. Our children, poor scavengers, scuffle with the orange peels you have thrown. Tigers fascinate you, no? The Royal Bengal? How wonderful! Oh, how is it possible? You never know the secret behind. The man-eater guzzled a lot. Haripada, Subal, Fateh Ali, how many shall I count? Subal's wife hanged herself last year. Couldn't bear the fangs of hunger. What we could do? We wait for the minister to come. He came once, year ago. Promised, the Sunderbans will transform. We beg you, sir, go tell him kindly. Our stomachs are full with the brine water from flood. Analysis of the poem. In the poem, the poet tries to draw the pensive sketches of Dalit life in the remotest nooks of the marshlands. The dire necessity to access the dense, impenetrable forests in search of honey and firewood, and the resultant death in the cruel jaws of the ferocious Royal Bengal tiger, is the central theme of this poem. With hapless Subal is devoured by the bloodthirsty tiger, his wife had no other alternative but to commit suicide by hanging herself from the ceiling of her ramshackle hut. Offers a unique fusion of risk factor analysis of the Sunderbans from geohydrological, climatic, natural, socio-economic, and anthropological points of view. Standing on the platform of the postmodern century, the lived experiences of pain, suffering, anguish, injustice, and violence of the marginalized section have been translated into reality through the editors of the book. Listen to the flames, texts, and readings from the margins. To speak in one word, Dalit is undoubtedly a condition. There is a gulf of difference between the then society of the Dalit and of the present. Even the writers, both Dalit and non-Dalit, have to face the challenge to translate Dalit ideology through the literary pieces. Margins is no doubt a unique glimpse to the social, geographical, political, and historical representations of Dalit visionaries to regenerate tender minds to the direction of Dalit ideology for the centuries to come. Students of today will be motivated by its diversification, multicultural journey, unconventional dogmas, and alternative aestheticism beyond the mainstream literature. The poem is really interesting in a very simple words, and it gives us the grim picture of how the people suffer, especially the Dalits. Here are some pointers. Under such backgrounds, the editors of the book and listen to the flames texts and readings from the margins have very successfully accomplished their job. The editors have mostly probably completed their threefold job in representing the marginalized voices. Firstly, the book has appropriately represented the voices that have been marginalized for a long time, the voices that have been suppressed by the machination of the higher caste society find representation through the writings of both Dalit and non-Dalit writers. The second important thing is that the book has showed a great concern for the pain and suffering, pathos, anguish, anger, protest, injustice, and oppression meted out to the downtrodden. Lastly, it has fulfilled the need of the undergraduate and postgraduate students and has introduced them to the socio-political situation interwoven with Dalit reality. It can be said that the editors are more than successful in achieving all the above concerns. The anthology has dealt with the works of 21 significant Dalit writers. The poem is very simple, easy to understand, without much fascination, giving us a clear picture of how the Dalits, even today, under the tag of technology, modern living, and thinking has still not undergone a tremendous change. There is nothing changed in their lives. And this has to be taught and this has to be brought into the mainstream to understand their problems and to give a way out of that. And that is the what poet is really wanting to do. Suggested or extended activity has been given here, just try to watch it. Signing off, Alyanas. Stay home, stay safe.